Kalonzo Musyoka has now decided that he knows how his life goals will be achieved. After issuing an ultimatum that didn't really bear the fruit that he wanted, he has now decided to solve the mathematical problem in a different way. Speaking on JKL this Wednesday, Miguna, sorry, I'm calling him Miguna. Kalonzo Musyoka said that he has a different way of solving NASA's mathematical problem. I believe we have that video.
I hold the view there'll be room for each of us.
All four of you?
Of course.
All four of you?
We are not done with amendment to the basic document in this country, the Constitution. Kenyans will recall, and when I actually accepted nomination as my party's flag bearer on the 13th of December, I said that within the first 180 days, we will cause a constitutional amendment. We'll go to the people of this country and try to remind them that, you see, a constitution is again not a static document. It has to respond to the political environment and as well as the aspirations of it.
So you want to change the constitution?
Absolutely.
You want to bring in the prime minister?
So the constitution, shall we chop it up and change it and add a few pieces so that we can suit their presidential ambitions and their mathematical issues?
No, this whole thing, you can't, every 5 years you can't be changing the constitution so you can hook up your pals with jobs. That's an X for me. You can't just, every time, so that's going to be a trend. So you do 5 years or 10 years, then you come back, the other guy wants to come in, why not? By the way, why not Joy Chelagat, why don't you be the prime minister? Then you'll be the deputy prime minister. I'll be the president, you'll be the vice, you know. You can't do that every single
I'll be the assistant to the assistant of the president.
Yeah, I mean, like, this story makes me like, it makes me so mad because it's like, who is he talking to? When he says we, who's we? Because I don't see myself in that story. Where's my seat? Like, where? He says the people, the political climate. I'm not part of this like climate. Like, we're on different wavelengths. Like, it's like he's so out of touch with what we actually need as the people. I think politicians just they're not very aware of who it is that they're trying to impress. Because they go on to you know shows like JK Live and all these other platforms and they say we are going to fight but then it's not like we and the county of this. It's like not all of us are going to sit on that seat. So it's ridiculous.
Unajua mimi vile naona kulingana vile amesema wata create hizo post na nini. Naona ni kama one day sisi wote tutakuwa leaders hapa Kenya. Sababu na president, vice president, MPs,
and then there'll be that one guy paying tax.
Governor, kaletwa MCAs, kuna chief, kuna assistant women rep. Mpaka imefika mahali sasa kuna boundaries commission zinagawanishwa constituencies. Unapata baka inafika mahali huyu jamaa anasimama constituencies different na mimi different. Na sisi ni maneiba. Tunaambana chungi
if anything happens within the home, you have to go now to the referendum and then say, okay, now Drew has asked me for salt. Now we must sit and discuss whether or not, like, we're all going to be in government and then be that one guy.
The one thing that really irks me is when we look at this thing, elections are expensive, and we all know, like if you're in the business world, the money and the expenditure, the cash flow kind of slows down because people are a bit anxious about investing around election period. So you want us to suffer that already, and we're already beginning to see it, and then 180 days later go through the same thing?
No.
For what position? Why don't we let it work? It's like, when you're trying to fix something, the moment it's almost beginning to set, you take it out and then try and fix it again, take it out and fix it again. I think, honestly, we just need to let this work. We're already complaining about the wage bill. Almost all of our taxes are going into paying people and redundant kind of things. So why are we paying more people and then adding more people to be paid for? Because when you're saying you're adding one seat, it's not one seat. You have to create an office of that. Remember the time when we had the Prime Minister in the Grand Coalition? We had to create the office of the Prime Minister. There was a whole unit around that. There's a lot of resources that go into it. It's not one seat. And that for me is what irks me, that someone will say, we do not have enough money to feed children. We don't have enough money to pay doctors. We don't have enough money to pay teachers. Yet we have enough money to create another position. And this just goes to tell me that there are only two tribes in Kenya. The tribe that is a political tribe and then the rest.
Exactly. And to add on to what it is that you're saying, I mean, when in the history of all these promises, these 90-day projects, has any of it ever worked. I am tired of this 100-day project and the 90-day project. It's like change is coming. This isn't Game of Thrones. Or maybe it is, actually.
We don't know. It could be.
It's the game of parliamentary seat. Like, Kalonzo, it's fine. You know, you couldn't get it within 24 hours. Neither did Jack Bauer. But just bow down and move along. We don't want your grand scheme. We don't want your grand proposal. If you can't make it work within the constitution that we have already, then
just chill.
Just chill.
Just chill.
Just chill.
Yes. I mean, finally, I think the best analogy is
retire. I think is what we're trying to say.
I would like to say that this is her personal view. It is not the view of the station or of views in the news. That is Jan's personal view.
It's true.
But for me, the best analogy of this is like if I am interviewing for a job at Citizen Digital, then I tell Rapture, come, I think you can do this job. Rapture says, yes, but now go back to your bosses and tell them, me, I have 2 other friends, and they also want to do the job. So go back, do your budgets, do everything, so that me and my friends, we can come and run this show. I'm like, no, I only have budget for 1 person. And that's the 1 person I'm going to hire. If you're not willing to play by that, as Jazz has said, you can step aside.
Exactly.
No hooking up homies.
No hooking up your homies.